In the pits living my dream, I don't think that they're ready. Let's go. This is Cap Houston right here. Bobby, what you got for me?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Bobby. We've got Joe in the building. How you doing, sir?
Oh, pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing good. It is episode 119. Today is August 25th, and we've got 4 special guests. First of all, I want to give a big shout out here. We got Ernie Irvan in the building.
Woo,
Yeah.
Ernie.
Woo. Yeah.
Daytona 500 champion, Ernie Irvan.
Yes, sir. And we've also got Darlene, we've got Robert, and we've got a broken Dave. He did not get his camera working today. But
I tell you,
these are the representatives for Rocavaka. And today is a special episode. We are going to talk about the Rocavaka bottles, the legend pack that they have with Jeff Bodine, Ernie Irvan, and Sterling Marlin. So with further ado, we will send that to Darlene. I will let her take over, and then we will go to Robert and Ernie.
And I'm going to throw Dave under the bus and let him do some speaking as well. So thank you so much, Joe and Bobby, for having us. We appreciate it. And we're here tonight to talk about our 2 events that are happening in Daytona and Ormond Beach for Coke Zero, Friday and Saturday. We have the honor of having 3 legends on our Rocavaka bottles. We have the wonderful Ernie Irvan. We have Jeff Bodine and Sterling Marlin, legends in their own way. And we were so honored to be with them. And we have a first Daytona event this Friday at Cheers Liquor Store, where purchase of Rocavaka, and our vodka is made out of grapes from Spain. It's organic and gluten-free. So it's tasteful to everyone. There's no burn. It goes down very smooth. And we'll be at Cheers Liquor Store in Ormond Beach. Come on down, meet the guys, buy your 3-pack. So we're selling 3-pack, which is all 3 drivers in 1 pack. And then we also have the single bottles. So you can buy whichever kind you want, and we're excited. Yep, those are the bottles there. And that's our Miss Daytona, Miss L. I know a lot of guys are going to come down and see her at Cheers.
Yeah.
And our second event is on Saturday from 1 to 3, or a little longer for if you purchase a VIP ticket. There is going to be question and answers, a VIP experience, and tickets are being sold on Eventbrite for that event.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a real fun one.
We're going to have all the drivers at the signing.
Yes.
That's going to be incredible, especially an opportunity to get Sterling, Jeff, and Ernie there to sign each individual bottle. That
3 legends. Yeah.
You're gonna force people to buy 2 packs because they're gonna want 1 sign and then 1 to go home and have a few drinks on it.
I'm a big fan. I'm a fan first. So if I had nothing to do with this, I would lose my mind. I would wait 2 hours, 3 hours in the rain for these guys to sign these bottles. Honestly, I think people are just going to start losing their minds for this, really. I mean, like Darlene was saying, these are legends. You know what I mean? These are 3 Daytona 500 winners. What these guys have accomplished, it's just insane. you know. And Ernie will tell you, like when I first started talking to these guys, I was like, I want the first bottles, you know, and I want it signed. So I'm a fan first.
Well, I'm
Joe,
gonna have to
since you
fight
live
you
in-
for that one.
Joe, since you live in the area, are you going to come down?
I hope to. I got work and everything, but I'm certainly going to be there for the races. So
There you go.
I'd like to make the signings as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Don't let that work get in the way.
Yeah, I tell you, man, it's just that old nasty stuff.
We'll write you a note. It'll be fine.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you. I greatly appreciate that.
If your boss doesn't accept a note signed by Ernie, Jeff, and Sterling,
I mean,
I can
man,
imagine what would get you out.
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
nothing at that point.
So Ernie, since you're sitting there and your bottle's right there, you want to give everybody a tour of what the actual bottle looks like?
Yeah, well, this is an Ernie Irvan bottle, which all the bottles are basically the same, except for the different pictures of Sterling, Jeff, and me. And so they're very well done. I mean the biggest thing is the vodka inside. That's the important part.
Yeah.
I mean,
This is true.
if we're getting them autographed, Joe, we could still drink drink the vodka that's in the bottle, just have the empty bottle.
There you go.
Well, you have to have a full bottle, and then you get another one signed. You drink it.
Yeah, true.
Dude, that's
all,
that
Ernie.
makes
That's
sense.
how I am.
Yeah.
Yep, like keep it whole there.
Yeah.
It'll look really cool, Joe, right behind you in the 3-pack.
Yes.
Very nice. That will look really cool right behind
Yes.
I clear off some of these nasty old die cows, especially that one. No one likes that one.
Nobody likes that one.
Yeah, get rid of that one.
I mean, the forward part's nice. That's nice, but
So, Rob, you want to tell us how Rocavaka came about, and also your camera decided to stop working.
Bobby,
Yeah.
the camera's off.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Daw, you want to just take over until I get this working?
Yeah.
Or David? David tells it good. Whatever.
Dave tells a good story.
Yeah. Yeah. He tells
Yeah,
a
no
good
problem.
story.
What am I talking about?
How we got involved with the legends.
Right. So, I mean, the long and the short of it is Bobby came up with the idea for the name Rocavaka. So not to go too deep in the history, Bobby's got well over 100 patents. He comes up with an idea, and then he either sits on it, sells it, gets creative with it. Rocavaka came to him. He reached out to Darlene, his sister, and said, trademark it, .com it, register it. We got something with this. Took him around the world to find the right distiller that could give him the vision for Rocavaka, which is a premium clean sipping vodka that doesn't need to be buried in sugar or anything else, juices. It was designed to be sipped on the rocks. Definitely can mix it, but you don't need to. So it's a premium sipping vodka. Fast forward a couple of years, we had an opportunity to sponsor some events on Royal Caribbean. One of them was called the High Seas Rally, which is a chartered ship, and the theme is geared around combat veterans, Wounded Warrior Project, the motorcycle community. So Rocavaka was fortunate enough to be able to have one of the bars, their center bar mid-deck, that was decked out as the Rocavaka bar. So what that included for Rocavaka was the opportunity to do tasting events. So throughout the cruise, we would do 1.5, 2-hour tasting events, and the guests would come down and sample our product. Jeff Bodine happened to be a guest on the ship. He was one of the featured, I'm going to say performers, but hosts, MCs. And him and his wife, Lori, just happened to get in line. Sampled it. They loved the vodka. We also have a canned cocktail. Loved it. And a friend of ours, another performer on the ship by the name of Gary Michaels, who is the world's only comedy biker hypnotist, leaned over to me and said, "Hey, Dave, you know who that is?" And I said, "No, who is that?" He goes, "That's Jeff Bodine." And I was like, "You kidding me?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I looked at Darlene. I go, "Darlene, do you know who that is?" And she was like, "No." So that's NASCAR legend Jeff. Bobby is a big NASCAR fan. drove, trained. He actually has a great story about when he was doing the driving courses, meeting Dale Jr. But Darlene and I went over and just started chatting up Jeff and Lori. Called Bobby on the ship in the middle of nowhere where we were and got him on WhatsApp and introduced him to Jeff. Bobby is just a huge NASCAR fan. So, we got to talking with Jeff and asked him if he'd be interested in possibly, being a brand ambassador and maybe having a bottle. We had talked about doing something with NASCAR Legends. And Jeff we just had the chance encounter with Jeff and Lori and chatted up with Jeff, and Jeff's a great guy and he was very interested, and it helps that he loved the product. And then the next step was, how do we package this? And then Bobby came up with the idea is, if we do let's do 3. We can do a 3-bottle pack. Our RTDs come in 6-packs. We can put the drivers each on 2 cans, and it just steamrolled from there. Bobby's, brain works in that creative manner where he just manifests and can envision, what the end product is. And Jeff immediately said, we're like, Jeff, do you have anybody you could reach out to that might be interested? He was like, hold the phone. And let me hit my Rolodex. Let me call my boys. And we were fortunate enough to be introduced to both Ernie and Sterling. And both were kind enough to entertain us. And everybody loves the product, which was number one. You really can't get behind something and endorse something if you don't like it. But we know we have a really great tasting vodka, and the rest is, what they call history. So Sterling and Ernie came on board, and the Champions 500 limited edition bottle set was created. And here we are today.
So I have to ask, you ran into the 86 Daytona 500 winner. Who came first after that? Who came next after that? Was it Sterling or was it Ernie? Because Ernie,
Darlene, Bobby, you would know that better because I didn't entertain that call.
It was Ernie.
Ernie. Yeah.
How great is
Ernie
that?
was next.
Yeah.
Because then we got the 91 Daytona 500 winner, and then you followed that up with the
84, 85.
There you go, bro. I like that.
Just keep going down the line.
That was very good.
How could you? And for us, I'm a NASCAR fan. My father, grew up around NASCAR, worked the tracks, and I've watched NASCAR since a child. Personally, I grew up running around the pits in the Northeast in New York at a couple small speedways with Stephen Park, Tommy Baldwin, watching their dads drive. We were kids running around the pits. And I saw my first NASCAR race at Pocono and been a fan my life. And to literally be able to sit and talk with Jeff, to when I met Ernie, and this weekend will be the first time I personally get to meet Sterling. Yeah. I mean, you're sitting with legends.
Yes, me too. Yes.
When you talk about Jeff, what he's accomplished just in his life, not only being, a NASCAR legend, he's in the Guinness Book of World Records for having the most feature wins in the modifieds. Yeah. He's also the only man in the world that has a Daytona 500 ring and an Olympic gold medal ring, because him and his son created the Bow Dynamics. And
pretty impressive.
Not a lot of people know about that, but they designed the bobsleds, that the U.S. won gold with after so many years. Ernie, I mean, here comes a guy from California with $2 in his pocket and a dream, made his way across the U.S. to the Carolinas. I think Ernie was probably really one of the, I would say, groundbreaking drivers from the standpoint that he wasn't a Southern good old boy. He was a Californian. I mean, to you and in Florida and maybe me in New York, I go, all right, California, but someone from the Carolinas or Georgia, he's a Yankee. When you really think about it.
Yeah, that was unheard of back then. So some young kid coming over from California and just a few years from coming over and just getting into the Cup low, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
Yes.
And Ernie's career, I mean, his accident at Michigan, I mean, that was, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but there was a higher power that kept him with us, and his comeback was absolutely incredible. His ability to return from that. Most people would have just hung it up and said, I had a good run, but not Ernie. You know,
Yeah,
you take that accident out of Ernie's career, and I see him as a 3-4-time champion.
easily.
You know, series champion, hands down. You know, Swervin' Irvin. You know, on the course, and then you roll in Sterling, the Tennessee Tornado. I mean, boy, we've got 3 of. I don't know if I could think of any other drivers to add to it that would have made this friendship and relationship.
I agree.
Better. And the 3 guys are just great friends. And through the extension, their wives are just amazing people who, let me tell you, you want to have an interview with the guys, you want to have an event with the guys will say yes all day long, but we got to make sure the wives are happy because they run the roost, man. They are in charge, and they make sure everything is exactly how it should be, man, which is just great relationships.
Now, I just ran into this picture. You guys, we said we were going to share a couple.
Yeah. So that picture there is from the Watkins Glen race a couple months ago.
Nice.
And Sterling couldn't make it, but Jeff, who is from the area, is from Chemung, New York.
Yep.
And Ernie, we had a great turnout. We had a line out the door for about 3 hours.
I can imagine so.
And it was just great. I got to tell you one little story about that event. You know, because Jeff is from the area. Chemung is about an hour drive. And in line, a gentleman gets in line, has his bottle. He has some merch. And he looks at Jeff and he goes, "Did you go to," and I forget the name of the local community college back in 19, we won't mention years. And Jeff's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Did you take drafting 102 with Mr. Johnson?"
Oh my
He goes,
God.
"Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I sat next to you and cheated off you. I didn't pass that class." So, I mean, here is somebody, and Ernie, I believe it was Ernie, had a fan come, and she had a picture. Now, she was an adult. She was a mother, brought her children, and a picture of her as a little girl standing in front of Ernie's car in a garage at a race. And was like, "My parents took this. I actually took this out of the frame off the wall to bring this to show you." You know, their fans are diehard, and they're generational. And in today's day, I could only imagine if there was social media, you know, 30 years ago.
Oh God.
When Jeff and Ernie and Sterling, you know, were the top drivers. I mean, you talk about viral.
Yes.
Oh.
You know, these guys would have been it.
They raced with the best. I mean, the best. Yeah. Just the top. You know, the Pettys, the Earnhardts. Like,
now, Ernie, didn't
amazing.
you? Ernie, if I'm not mistaken, and I know you guys have all had you worked with different team owners and stuff, but weren't you teammates with Dale Sr.?
No, but Dale Sr. sponsored our first car.
Okay, I knew there was a connection there. Yeah. And Jeff, if you guys have, I know you've spoken with Jeff before, but if he ever told you the story about him meeting Paul Newman and Tom Cruise,
oh my God,
and the movie Days of Thunder,
God.
And how a lot of that was based around him and Dale's relationship.
Yeah, he actually told us on episode 51. Joe, do you remember that or no? Do you remember him talking about meeting Tom Cruise and all that? When Chrissy and I had him on? Or were you not? No, it wasn't Chrissy. It was before Chrissy. So, Dave, if you can, or Rob, go ahead and tell Joe that story, because that story is really good.
No, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So real quick, the Bill France, I think it was, reached out to Jeff and said, "Listen, Paul Newman wants to drive a stock car." And I don't know if Jeff, I don't remember exactly the circumstances of why he called Jeff, but Jeff said, "Sure." So he goes, and Paul Newman came out, and he brought a young actor with him. And at that time, Tom Cruise had done Risky Business and all the right moves, but hadn't really broken out. And he wanted to drive, and you know, they let him. And Jeff said he actually had quite a bit of talent. And as we know now, Tom Cruise is like a method guy. I mean, he has his own F-14 for crying out loud, and has his own stunts, etc. So they went to dinner, and as Jeff tells the story, they were chatting, and someone brought up, you should make a race car movie. Nothing's really been out since James Garner's movie in the 70s. And then turns around like a year later, Days of Thunder. And one of the best stories Jeff tells is in the movie, if you guys remember the movie, the scene where Tom Cruise and his arch and not rival have to go to dinner with the head of racing. So they go, you're going to rent a car. So they get two separate rented cars, smash each other up on the way there and have dinner. Jeff explains that actually happened. It was, they were bringing him and Dale to dinner because of they're hitting each other on the track. And basically we're like, listen, you do it again, we're going to tear you down, check every nut and bolt on your car, and you're going to miss the whole race if it happens again. So they were apparently in a car together. Now, they didn't go get two separate rental cars and bang each other, but Jeff drove, refused to let Dale drive, and in front of them was Bill France. And Dale apparently kept punching Jeff in his arm, telling him, rub him, hit him, just nudge him a little in the bumper. And Jeff's like, I'm not rubbing, the owner of NASCAR. We were just threatened to never race again. Are you crazy? So, a little Hollywood magic with the scenes, but a lot of that was Jeff and all the guys' experience at that time in the race world.
That was a great scene.
That's awesome. That's how that all came about.
Isn't it? It's like amazing.
I want to hear some Ernie stories.
Yeah, really.
Ernie, as I'd love to hear from you is as I understand, through reading and from hearing stories, like you literally left California, and did you actually go to Vegas and win enough gas money to get you the rest of the way across the country?
Yeah, I sure did, but wasn't very much. So,
well, luckily gas was only about $1.50 a gallon back then, right?
That was probably
that's too high.
And then also, I had they used to always get cheese when you were on welfare or something, but they somebody told me, said, hey, so you guys want, I got this welfare cheese you can use on the way back. Okay. So we were eating welfare cheese and drinking sodas and then stopped in Vegas. So it's that life right there.
Yeah.
That's
now,
amazing.
when you got to the East Coast, Ernie, obviously you didn't just magically overnight make it into the Cup Series, and you started doing local tracks. Were you doing dirt or asphalt tracks?
Mostly all dirt.
Mostly dirt.
I ran mostly all asphalt on the west coast, and then I ran some dirt, and then I moved to the East Coast and mostly all dirt, and then the racetracks all started paving, so I went back to pavement, and so that's where we did really well on the pavement, and that's what kind of got my notoriety out there. And Earnhardt was right there in the same hometown, and so he had heard about me some, and some was good, and some was bad. So it was all right.
So what was, I got to ask, and Bobby, I apologize for hijacking your podcast. No, not you, Bobby.
Oh, okay.
Bobby Peters. I'm hijacking your podcast. My apologies. Good. I don't get these opportunities most with the guys. We're doing events and stuff. But Ernie, so I always ask this of any opportunity when we work with celebrities and actors, musicians, legends of athletics like yourself. What would you say was your moment where you in your mind said, like, this is it, like I can actually make a living at this, I can really make a go? Was it meeting Dale? Was it signing? Like, was there a contract you signed for your first Busch race? Or what was that moment where you realized everything you had done up to that point was going to work and was worth it?
Well, I don't know if that moment ever happened till like later in my career.
Yeah.
Because, you're basically only as good as your last race. So you're like, if I don't do good this week, you never know what's going to happen. So there's a lot of pressure all the time. And then So once you finally, get a good sponsor, you're racing every week, and then you can start feeling like, okay, I've made it. Obviously, winning the Daytona 500 was the pinnacle of motorsports, and
Yeah.
that's when I think I really noticed, like, okay, I've got my home here. I'm gonna be able to live off this for a while and be able to just keep that and just try to keep building on it.
No more government cheese.
No,
You're getting craft singles, right?
I still like it though.
And just one other quick question to follow up. So you mentioned in the beginning when you got that first ride, it was back then it was what, the Grand National or the Busch Series.
Actually, some of my first stuff was in Cup, and me and a friend of mine, Mark Reno, we had built a Cup car, and basically we didn't have a sponsor, so we were building this car. We had no idea how we were going to do it, but we said we're going to Richmond, no matter what. When Schrader actually came by our shop and told us, and he said, "So what are you guys going to do?" We told him we were going to run this car at Richmond. He said, "Who's sponsoring it?" And, well, we don't have one. I said, "Huh, I think I might be able to do something for you." So he said, "I'm going to Darlington with Earnhardt tomorrow, and I think I can talk him into doing something." He's opening that Chevrolet dealer. Sure enough, Schrader comes back the next day, said, "Okay, I got you a deal, and Earnhardt's going to sponsor you. He's going to put his name on the side of your car. There's only one catch: not giving you any money." So he said, "He's going to let you have his name on the side of our car, but you're going to get credibility."
Okay.
Smartest thing we ever did.
Right.
Amazing.
We pulled into the garage area. Everybody's like, "Who's this guy? Earnhardt Chevrolet? I didn't know Earnhardt sponsored a car." Well, so that automatically got people talking.
Yeah.
And that's credibility. And it's just that was something we never thought would amount to a whole lot, but it was unbelievable.
It started to roller coaster from there.
Ernie, how long did Earnhardt sponsor your car?
We did that for like 5 races.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, Ernie, in those early races, and Bobby, I swear I'll turn it back over to you after this one. Those early races, like you had mentioned, you're out there, there's no money, there's no sponsorship, there's no supports. Obviously, if you wreck, you're done. Do you feel at that time when you were doing those early years, those lean years of racing, did you drive safer so that you could save the car and like not worry so much about winning those first few races as opposed to just finishing so you had a car for the next race? Or were you just, I'm going balls to the walls and whatever happens, happens?
Well, funny you asked that. There was a lot of times, I mean, they've made my nickname Swervin' Irvin. That was probably that's the way I drove. And so there was a lot of times that I had to like slow down to make sure I might hit something.
Gotcha.
So I drove. I was very aggressive. Drove as the limit I could do, and so I just drove every lap. Like there was the next lap was going to be the checker flag.
Yeah.
Nice.
How times change though, because when you look back at some of your driving there, Ernie, man, it's kind of reserved compared to what you see on Sundays nowadays. Especially with Hurricane Hocevar and some of those other guys out there just chop blocking and wrecking other people.
They called me a lot more than that.
Well, it is a family-friendly show, Ernie, so let's be careful of what nicknames you reveal.
I think Sterling, I'm pretty sure he's the one that started calling me Swervin' Irvin.
Oh, of
Come
course,
on.
of course. He knew
Did
he'd
you
got to
ever
be
race
working.
did you ever race with Sterling?
Oh yeah,
With
yeah,
Jeff?
yeah. Because Jeff was 2 or 3 years in the sport before me, and then me and Sterling were close to the same time, and then I was driving the 4 car when I won the 500, and then I switched to the 28 car, and then when Sterling won the 500, I run second in the 28 car.
Yeah,
I
and
was kind
Sterling
of
won with the 4, right?
Yeah, that was kind of egg in our face. Yeah,
You
Well, I
left the
love
4,
that.
and he won back to back with the 4, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
Ernie,
I thought it was great on your 500 when Ernie he finished second, and then a couple years later when he won his first one, you ended up finished second. So
yeah, yeah.
that's that was it's kind of a jab back at him on that one.
Well, the thing is you never think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember it, but first time I remember it because you said it. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Ernie, just to double back on what Joe was talking about, about how the racing is today. You went through that transition where you could do the Bobby Allison 200 something mile an hour at Talladega, where
Mm.
the car went up into the fencing, and
Yeah.
you were there. Now you were still racing competitively when the whole the restrictor plate came in, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I never ran without a restrictor plate.
Yourself, okay. Do
Yeah.
you think that by slowing everybody down and making it more competitive, does that make it more dangerous? Do you think it would be better to the cars that can go faster, let them go faster?
The
Or
problem,
is
the problem is the cars get airborne.
yeah,
You saw Bobby end up in the grandstands.
yeah,
That would be happening a lot, and then if that happened, our sport would be done.
yeah. No, 100%. God forbid anybody lost seriously injured or lost their lives.
Wow.
But seeing, how the races nowadays, you get so many of these uh, green white endings where they're 3 and 4 wide. I can't remember a Daytona 500 in the last few years where they weren't 5 wide going to the checker, and then you end up with these huge wrecks at the end. I would think that is more dangerous.
Well, it is, but the thing is, they had to make it where the race just doesn't end under caution.
Yeah,
I mean, when I won the 500, ended under caution.
Yep.
I was leading with 2 to go, but we didn't have green white checkers then.
They've
They're
gotten
trying to
rusty.
do everything. They're trying to do all this, trying to make it where the people can see a good finish.
Right.
yeah. Give them their money's worth for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's like you don't want to watch. I mean, a race is a good race, even if the guy leads the last 5 laps of the race. It's still a good race.
Right.
But I mean, if it's not as good and popular if it ends under caution, you know. And so 2 laps to go, we all know who's going to win. So I mean, I think that's just because of TV and all the stuff that's come about and making where the sport's more popular.
But it's certainly a tough spot because I know I've been watching since at least I was 4 years old because I remember my driver Rusty Wallace,
Yes.
his championship victory, him jumping on the roof onto his hood. So I've been hooked since at least then. But I remember, as a kid when some of those cautions came out last few laps and we knew, we're going to finish under caution. It's like, oh man, but now on the opposite side of that, you see some of these. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes, the guy's coming up, he's charging hard, wants to get that opportunity to try to get that win. But then there's other times where the guy was leading for the last 50 laps. It's like, man, that was his win. Just
Right.
let him have it, but you can't unfortunately have it both ways. So, but the unfortunate sometimes side is when those green white checkers come out, we have a second one and a third one, and now we've wrecked 75% of the field just to get to a finish. So I think overall it's been more beneficial to give some of those more exciting finishes because there was that time where 15, 20 years ago when that was happening quite often, and people were getting restless on finishing every race under caution.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't like it when you finish under caution. I mean, but I liked it when I won the 500.
Hey, I mean, Earnhardt
Amen.
finished under caution too, so
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
can't be all that bad.
It's all about winning. So, and I won the race, and this
God bless.
that we had. So I was in good shape.
You
Well,
got the trophy, the check in
let's
the
put it
ring.
this
That's all
way.
that matters.
Yeah,
But-
I got the trophy right upstairs.
So
I want to ask you, Ernie.
He still has a chunk of cheese. Don't let him fool you.
You know, there was a couple wrecks there towards the end of your 500 and about 8 to go or something. Not the last restart that happened, but the one right before that, where I think Richard Petty had got wrecked out, and you know, you guys restacked and you got past Earnhardt. What was that like getting past him? Because
Yeah.
he was so incredible on super speedways.
I knew I had to get by him because, I mean, how are we going to pass him? But the thing is he got stuck right beside Davey.
Hmm.
Davey wasn't going to let him go, and
Yeah,
Earnhardt wasn't going to let him go.
Amazing.
So they were running side by side, and if they end up, and then they end up, I think they ended up, Earnhardt got loose, spun,
Yep.
got Davey, and that ended up getting Sterling second, if I remember right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been a long time ago.
So
Right.
let's circle back to this for a second. So we're talking about green white checkers. If you would have had a green white checker back then, do you think you still could have held off Earnhardt?
Who knows? I mean, I can say, yeah, that was no big deal. I could have done that, but I mean, I don't know. We didn't have green white checkers then, so I mean, it really wasn't something you even thought about.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you hold off Earnhardt, it's going to be a good day.
Well,
Yeah.
I know I would if you guys had him back then, I would assume you might have been a bit nervous because your last pit stop was fuel only, right? And so you know you get a few more green white checkers and you might have ran out.
Well, I was running out of gas then.
Were you? Yeah.
Were you nervous on that?
No, not really, because I had it's like, okay, you guys told me it was going to be enough.
That's right.
Oh, well, pull down on the apron so that way the fuel's in the fuel cell. Okay, and so it was running out at that time.
So Ernie, in this talk about like a green white ending and with you and Dale, I mean, obviously the outsiders, know stories about Dale the Intimidator and what have you. Would you? I mean, I don't want to say. Do you think any drivers were dirty? Because that's all just perceptive, and no one, I don't think, intentionally ever wants to injure another driver. But was there one driver where if you had to pass on that final lap, or if you were leading and it was coming around to pass you, that you'd rather not have in that rearview mirror?
Well, I mean, Earnhardt's the worst one because he was like, I mean, his reputation.
Yeah.
Intimidating.
I didn't really care.
Yeah.
But I mean, I raced him really hard, and he raced me really hard.
Yeah.
And he just had, the Earnhardt reputation, and you knew that if he could get the bumper to you, he was gonna.
Yeah.
But he was gonna maybe try to shake you up a little.
He was going to nudge you, but he wasn't
Yeah.
going to put you in the wall to win.
Yeah. Not till later, but yeah.
Not till
Now,
I think Earnhardt definitely got a bit more of a pass just because of who he was back then. Man, if you go back and watch that restart that he took off, and he took off quite a bit early, and they didn't call it. And so I'm watching him. He got a 5-6 car lengths out ahead of you, and what I know as being called the slingshot, where you're drafting behind someone, you start catching them, and you go to the outside of him. I don't think it was called the slingshot back then, but you certainly used that on him to whip around him. And man, hindsight, it was
I think I caught him off guard.
Yeah,
Because I mean, I kind of lagged back on the start because I knew I could, suck up to him because, he didn't have nothing in front of him. And it just happened that I kind of timed it right. And I caught him at the right moment.
Amazing.
Then I was able to go all the way but in front of him. And then he got stuck with Sterling or stuck with Davy. So I made him where he was side by side with Davy.
Yeah.
Now,
So-
how did winning the 500 change not only like your life, but how did it change? Did it change anything between the way the drivers raced you, or did anything for the rest of the season?
No, I mean, once we left Daytona, it was, nobody really cared if you won the week before. So, I mean, and, obviously, it puts your name in the Daytona 500 book. People, people know that. The other drivers, they know it, but it's not a big deal because they're all wanting to do it or they've done it. So, it's really amongst all of us, we're like, okay, you won last week. I'm gonna win this week.
Yeah,
Now, did they do the? I forget if they did it back then. Did they send you guys to New York and do all the press and all that for Good Morning America and all that?
I went to the Letterman show.
Nice.
You remember David Letterman, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's probably before your time. Yeah, but I went to the Letterman show. Yeah. And so I went to the White House,
Nice.
a steak dinner.
Nice.
So Ernie, don't they say now? Correct me again. I'm not sure if I'm accurate. You win the Daytona 500. They take that car, don't they, and put it in a museum?
I don't think they did that then. I'm
No.
not sure.
that started about what, 98
Yeah,
or so?
98, 99, yeah.
Yeah, right
mine
around
was
there.
91.
Yours was nice. So, guys, you would know better. I'm just curious. You win the Daytona 500, and is that in the contract or something where you have to turn your car over? Well, dude, what if that's your best running car? You're
Yeah.
done.
So
Yeah.
Dale Jr. being serious about this, Dale Jr. wins. What was it? 2004.
Yeah.
Is that
2004
what?
and
Yeah.
2014.
That was his best car, and they kept it in Daytona, and he's like, man, I really
Yeah.
wish I could have switched out another car because that thing was good on super speedways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is about every year they build a new one,
Yeah.
and you always want to make sure the new one's maybe better than the old one. I'm sure that I don't think we ran our car from 91 to 92. I don't think we ran the same car. I
Right.
think we had the 92 car, the 91 car as a backup
Okay.
for the 92 car, if I remember right.
So, Ernie, one question about racing in general. Like, again, we were talking about the green, white, and the tight field. You hear on the announcers talk about when you get these tight fields, obviously you have teammates if you're part of the same racing team. But is there like any quick running up and down the pits, or I'm friends with that team's crew chief, where when it comes to those last few laps, hooking up with a driver that's not a part of your team to draft and to move? I mean, does that come over the radio to you? Hey, the 32 is willing to go down low with you to get around or anything like that?
Well, the thing is I had a teammate, which was Dale Jarrett, which in those days the teams did not work as close as they do now.
Yeah.
A lot of it is now because of the manufacturer. The manufacturers, they want to make the Toyota guys, you're going to work together. It doesn't matter who wins, but you're going to work together.
Right.
The Ford deal was never that much. And then the Chevy deal, they had just started when I retired, it got more into the team deal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what about that communication over the radio? Like you're talking to the crew chief or the spotter, or you're really just listening? But I mean, are there any like conversations, or is it just very simple? Wreck, turn, clear.
There's sometimes that if somebody's behind you that or whatever, hey, go tell the spotter that, man, I want to work with him. We'll try to go to the front together.
Yeah.
You just don't leave me out. I won't leave you out.
There you go.
And the thing is you would try to work the best you could together. And when it's all said and done, you're going to fend for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you don't have to defend yourself with Rocavaka because you got Sterling and Jeff as your wingmen.
There you go.
That's true.
So I know Joe wants to ask this question about Ernie getting not only the 50th greatest driver but also the 75th. I'll let you hit that, Joe.
Yeah, you're definitely one of small group of diverse drivers to be named part of the 98 50th greatest drivers and then our 2023 75th greatest drivers. 25 years apart being recognized, what does that say about your career and how long it's been remembered?
I mean, I was really excited about that. It's just you don't know how much that brings to you till later in your years. I mean, I was very proud of being the top 50. So, I mean, it was really exciting when I found out about it. I really didn't understand it until I started hearing more about what was going on. And I'm like, man, this is pretty good. And so, I mean, I was excited, and once they did the top 75, the top 50 were already 50, and then the next 25 come in. So it was good. I mean, I don't know how you get awarded any more than that.
Wow.
But you got to think there's been thousands of drivers who have come through. Maybe they had one race, two races, maybe a season, and then you shrink that down to drivers who have won, and then shrink that down to drivers who have won the Daytona 500. And man, you're certainly in an elite class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to think so anyway. I'm in an elite class because I like Rocavaka.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, speaking of Rocavaka, right? It's made from Tempranillo grapes.
Tempranillo grapes.
Thank you.
I wanted him to work with that for a few moments.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to ask you if you wanted to buy a vowel or maybe call a friend.
You'd been here all night.
I didn't read it.
We were working with you.
Oh, and so Rocavaka, you guys then distill that down 5 times, right? So, that's a different kind of craftsmanship than what you're used to, Ernie. What your career's been used to. So what drew you to this sponsorship?
Well, obviously they came to us and said, "Hey, we'd like to, want to do something with you guys to help promote the vodka." And obviously we had our choices if we wanted to do it or not. So we wanted to sample it, find out if that's something we'd like to put our name with, and it all really worked good. These are really good people, and Rocavaka had a great name, sounded good. So, and Jeff is the one that came to me and wanted to know if I'd want to do this with him. So, again, Jeff's been a really good friend, and we kind of done a few things together, and we're having a good time.
So just to let everybody know that the August 29th from 1 to 3, and I believe tickets are still on sale, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, there's still tickets. You can go to rocavaka.com or they're on Eventbrite. It's held at the Daytona Hotel right across the street from the track. And they still are some of the $20 general admission tickets available. And there's a few of the VIP tickets. Now, the VIP ticket gets you the 3-pack bottle, all autographed by the guys. Get you opportunity to meet the guys, meet and greet. And then there's a special VIP happy hour afterwards at the Blue Flame Bar, where they get complimentary Rocavaka cocktail. And then the event Friday night out on Ormond Beach at Cheers Wine and Liquor. That is an opportunity to come in and buy the bottles direct, little less formal opportunity to come in and chat with the guys for a few minutes in line. We'll have hero cards for each driver, so everybody is going to walk away with an autograph. And like you guys mentioned before, you buy Ernie's bottle or you buy the 3-pack, you get them autographed, and then they will also have the original bottle as well for sale. Ellie, our brand ambassador, will be there pouring samples for everybody, and then you buy the original bottle to take home and drink, and then you take the signed bottles by the guys and you put those on your shelf, and you just admire them. You don't open those.
Before you guys get off here, I have a question, and I want you guys to kind of tell us about this. But I see that you also do I believe it's the tunnel to towers.
Tunnels to towers, yes.
Can somebody tell us about that? Because I know that's a big thing.
Yeah. So Tunnels to Towers is an organization that supports the fallen firefighters from 9/11. The story is that Stephen Silla, the firefighter, he got off duty. He was going to be going golfing with his brothers. He heard about what was happening, and he was in the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. He abandoned his car, threw his gear on, and ran from the tunnel to the towers. Stephen perished inside the tunnel, inside the towers, after rescuing some people, and his brother Frank and family members started a foundation called Tunnel to Towers, where it's usually you can see it all the time on TV, where you donate $11 and it goes to fallen firefighters, veterans, people that have lost their limbs, all different first responder people. And then you can, when you buy our bottle, the Rocavaka Tunnel to Towers bottle, every bottle sold, $5 goes to the foundation. So it's a very it's dear to our hearts, and we really honor, again, like with the legends that we have with Daytona drivers, we feel honored that we are the vodka of the Tunnel to Towers and can help support all those in need. Recently, they are opening veteran homes for the homeless veterans. They're giving them training. They're giving them mental health assistance. And they're doing one right nearby here on Long Island. And I went to the groundbreaking, and it was just such an amazing event. And to see what this organization since 2001 has grown, and they're having their 25th anniversary. So you can purchase any of these bottles, by the way, on our Rocavaka website. So if anybody goes to www.rocavaka.com, there's a buy button in the top. Click on that, and you can buy the driver's bottles. You can buy the Tunnel to Towers bottle. And again, $5 from every bottle sold goes to Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
What a great cause.
So I know that we said about what time we were going to wrap this up. Dave, I'm going to start with you, and then we'll go to Rob, then we'll go to Darlene, and then we'll end it with Ernie. But any last things you guys got?
Yeah, just a couple of things. One, if you're in Florida and you're able to come down to the events, opportunity to meet the drivers, man, to talk to Ernie and Jeff and Sterling at the same time, those opportunities just don't come around often. Come down, come to Cheers. At the end of the day, if you don't buy a bottle, that's fine. You have an opportunity to meet 3 legends of NASCAR. Don't pass it up. If you'd like a bottle, great. if you live in the area but you're not able to make the signing, but you do want a bottle, you can call Cheers Wine and Spirits, Wine and Liquor on Ormond Beach, and you can place an order over the phone. And then we'll have the guys, we'll be signing additional bottles for anybody that called in. You have an opportunity to come to the Daytona Hotel. We're going to be hosting a Q&A with the guys. You never know what's going to happen. And the fact that my camera didn't work, I can proudly say that I've done this interview in my pajamas. And I don't feel guilty whatsoever.
Oh,
All right,
God.
Robert, we'll start with you.
Rock yourself to sleep with that vision, folks.
No, yeah.
Ernie's going to have nightmares.
Yep, I am too.
I just can't wait to get down there this weekend and hang out with everybody. It's just going to be really good. Can you guys come down and hang out?
Don't hope so.
My fiance and I were looking at trying to surprise everybody, but it's like $2,500 for us to get down there
Oh, my God.
just for the weekend. So, and I live in Ohio, so that was a flight from Detroit to Orlando.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, you're
But you
definitely going to
guys-
have to like make the next one.
Yeah, well,
You're
there.
gonna be down for the 500 next year.
Yeah, we'll be all down for the 500. So.
Well, you know, if we could talk about that, I mean, we want to have something really, really, really big for the Daytona 500. All right. So you guys got to come down for that. I mean, I want to do
We'll be
something
there
really,
Thursday,
really
Friday,
big.
They
Saturday,
already have
Sunday,
their
Monday.
tickets. They're already
Tickets and
set up, Bobby.
and our VRBO. So we're
We're
set.
there. We're there Thursday. Adrian and I fly out Thursday at 10 o'clock. I think we land at noon, and we're there from Thursday to Monday.
Nice.
I suggested perhaps, God willing, we'll be back at the Daytona Hotel for an event, and
That would be great.
I was thinking maybe the guys could come on and Christine could come and do a live remote show from there. So
Yeah. Can you guys pack the studio up and bring it with you? Maybe we can get the hotel to give you one of the rooms and we'll do your show live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we got enough equipment. We can make that happen. That's for
Yeah, I
sure.
was gonna say I can bring my laptop. We trust me, they'll bring theirs. We can make it work.
Yeah.
Nice. And I tell you, I'll give you guys an insider. We're working some things for Daytona, and if things go through the way we hope, we'll let you guys break it to the NASCAR world.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You
I
guys
do
have
have
been
one
so
last
great.
question for Ernie, if I could slip it in.
Yep,
please.
slip it.
So, out of all of your accomplishments in your driving career, you got your 91 Daytona 500 win, your 93 Talladega 500 win,
wow.
your 95 New Hampshire comeback win. We were just at New Hampshire after your Michigan crash, and then 97 your Michigan 400 win there. Out of all those particular wins, which one ranks the highest for you?
Well, the Daytona 500 is the pinnacle of the racing. But probably the one in Michigan, being able to win that one after almost dying there, and just then the racetrack basically saved my life, and then basically winning there. So I think that's probably the biggest one.
Incredible,
Yeah.
incredible story.
Came back and kicked its ass after I tried to take him out.
I believe I was actually at that track at Michigan with my dad when Ernie won that race.
Wow.
That's
It was the
incredible.
coolest thing ever because that's a home track for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's some of the coolest things about nowadays, like social media. I've got a TikTok that I've been putting together some videos, Stock Car Renaissance, and I recently put one together for you, Ernie, where we're talking about the crash and your comeback win. And one of the comments on there was that going back to earlier about the Daytona Days of Thunder, is that someone suggested that Days of Thunder 2 should be based on your story.
There you go.
Well, we tried to get some of my people were trying to get a video or a movie made from my career.
Oh
Nice.
man,
Because of
God.
there's so many things
Oh,
you can make. That's a good storyline.
Yeah.
incredible story. I'd love to see
incredible
that.
story.
So you know what we're gonna do? we're gonna petition to get a documentary of the life of Ernie Irvan.
There you go.
Ernie, who do you want to play you in the movie? You
Yeah,
name it.
really.
Who's your top guy that you'd want to play you in the life of Ernie Irvan?
I have to ask my wife. I don't know.
I'd say Joe. He
Smart.
looks close enough to like him.
We'll
No,
see if
you wouldn't want me.
Let's see if Tom Cruise is doing anything. We can get him. We can get him the Ernie Irvan mustache grown.
My wife said Gerard Powell.
No, Gerard Butler.
Oh, Gerard Butler.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, Gerard Butler.
He's
there
got
we
the
go.
hots for
There you
him.
go.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
the guy in what, 300,
I agree,
right?
Kim.
Yeah.
I agree, Kim. He's pretty hot.
But is he good looking enough, Kim?
He's
Yeah.
pretty hot.
Could he pull it off?
I don't know. Yeah?
Does he have the abs to play Ernie?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to play me because I'm pretty stout.
You're pretty unique.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's a better one of it.
That's a good one.
One of a kind.
No one's got the swagger. No one's got the swagger of Swerving Irvin.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not very many people could swerve as like I can.
But the big question is, Kim, is how is he on the dance floor? Are his moves as good on the dance floor as they are on the racetrack?
If he's still swerving, Irvin.
Did you hear that? You
Yeah,
said
we-
I dance like Fred Flintstone.
Oh, God.
That's really nice, my wife.
Well, she was referring to Fred when he did his Twinkle Toes bowling. You're all on your top.
Yes.
That was
All right,
good.
Ernie. Before we wrap this up, do you have anything that you would like to say? And at that point, then I'll put you guys all in the waiting room, and then Joe and I will finish this up and bring you guys back in.
Okay.
If you want to stay.
Yeah, so that's just exciting being able to go down to Daytona and help promote Rocavaka. Hopefully a lot of people show up and be able to come and talk to me, Sterling, and Jeff. We're kind of characters, so I think that they'll have a good time.
All right. Well, I appreciate Dave, Bob, Darlene, Ernie. Thank you guys very much.
Thank
for
you so much.
allowing us to
Yeah.
interview you guys and,
Yes.
and get this event out there. And we're looking forward to many more opportunities with you guys.
Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you
Thank you for having patience, Bobby, with
Hey,
getting
no
us
problem.
on.
This was a year in
Yes.
the making.
A year in the making is right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I want to thank everyone so much. Have a great night. Thank
Thank
you.
you. We'll
Bobby,
see you in
Bobby, get
Daytona.
dressed. Bobby, get dressed.
Ernie, thank you. Good night.
Thank you, guys.
Ernie, we'll see you on Friday, my man.
God
Okay,
willing.
thanks.
Take care, guys.
Bye bye.
You too. Joe, that was an awesome show.
Incredible.
So definitely a unique episode for 119. I know we didn't talk a lot, but I mean, to be honest, it was a NASCAR legend. Everybody was kind of just throwing it out there.
Oh man, I could sit and talk to Ernie for another
Yeah.
10 hours.
I could have talked to him for another 3 hours live, just
Yep.
back and forth, and it was awesome.
Dude has been there, done that. Iron Man, basically, come back from a 10% chance to live, wreck, and I mean, who else has done that? Not many drivers have come back from balls ear, skull fracture. So
Yeah.
man,
I mean,
incredible opportunity.
We've had some pretty bad wrecks. I mean, obviously that one, Kyle Busch's wreck at Daytona, and that took him out. I mean, there was a lot more actually. I mean, and we've had some pretty terrible fatalities also throughout.
But the thing about him that some of the other drivers didn't necessarily have opportunities to, he came back and won again and multiple times, not just once. He several times and just had such a great career.
So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight for episode 119. Real quick, I want to thank all of our sponsors: Spartan Waste, Anamore Designs, Action RV, the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch, Circle B Diecast, Race Day Authentics, Alliance Driveway Solutions, Perrysburg Pipe, Matrix Apparel, Runner's Roost, Barbershop Ministries, Fox Sports Spartanburg, Belcher Cheesecake Creations, Matman Designs, CRI, and Collins Model Garage. Obviously, you guys know about the custom diecast that he makes, and I've actually got a couple of Carson hosts of ours diecast. I meant to bring one down, but I have a couple from Daytona that I got. So I have his Xfinity race and I have his truck race. I'm just waiting on the Spectrum car to show up.
Nice.
But thank you guys very much. And as you've noticed, yesterday we made an announcement that we are also doing a 51 Racing Media. So what that entails is not only when we go to the track, I'm gonna obviously we'll have Joe, Chrissy, myself, my sister will be there. My sister's gonna be taking photos for ARCA, and then if Joe or Chrissy want to take pictures or do whatever with with the driver, we can get passes and whatnot, and it sort of helps grow our brand. So I want to thank everybody that jumped on board. Florida Sheriff Youth Ranch, Big Fish Barbecue, Club Racing. Thank you guys very much, and stay tuned. We have some special surprises coming up. I can tell you guys one. We're working on maybe doing a dry rub, so it's like a smoky blend is what we're calling it. But I'm not gonna give you the name. It's pretty good though. But with that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and. Hopefully have a show here in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. Well, thanks you for having me on, Bobby. Thanks 51 Racing Podcast. Thanks Rocavaka for coming on board, bringing Ernie Irvan on board. I know we tried to get Beller Daytona 500 champions Jeff Bodine and Sterling Martin on too. So hopefully we can get them on the podcast here in the future too.
Yeah, I'm talking to Meredith which is Sterling's wife, and they're gonna be able to come on soon. We're gonna get Jeff and Lori on, and then we'll have Ernie back on also. So we'll definitely have a good time, and I want to thank everybody. And you guys heard that we might be doing a show in Daytona for the 500. Wouldn't that be wild?
It's almost for definite at this point.
Well, we'll be drinking Rocavaka, having fun.
Yeah, that'll be a loose podcast.
Yeah, that'll be a sketchy weekend. So
Might not remember it, but
yeah, probably not. So with that being said, thank you guys. Thank you, Joe, for jumping on tonight, and we will talk to you guys soon.